Welcome to SYNC-O-WICZ, hosted by the fearless Linda SYNC-O-WICZ. She's syncing you up with the latest in election integrity, from breaking headlines to critical updates you won't hear anywhere else. With Linda, it's facts first as she leads the fight for one vote for one legal voter. Stay informed, stay empowered. Let's jump in.
Hi, and welcome to SYNC-O-WICZ. I'm Linda SYNC-O-WICZ, the founder and CEO of Fight Voter Fraud. I want to thank everyone who is watching us on OBBM Network TV, YouTube, Rumble, all our other social networks that we're on, Spotify, Gab, Getter. So thank you very much. This is another unique program that we're going to be doing. We did have a guest who is coming on. He was out of country, and I guess the internet connection is a bit of a problem over in Europe. So he will be our guest in August instead. So you've got me the entire time today. So the states that we're going to be talking about are Arizona, Iowa, Louisiana, Montana, and New Jersey. We're going to go over our election terms, our election trivia. We're going to talk about some national stuff. We'll go to our vote notes, which, as always, is an additional part to the story that you can click on the link and read the rest of it. And then we'll go to international. And as always, my final thoughts. I will do my best to make sure I save them for the end, but that's not going to happen. I can't help it. All right, let's start off with Arizona. Arizona, this is from America First Legal from July 8th of 2026. Major victory. America First Legal secures a landmark election integrity win for recorder Justin Heap as Arizona Supreme Court restores Maricopa County Recorder's election authority. Now, we've been keeping you updated on all this stuff, let's call it stuff, because this is a family program, that has been going on in Arizona. And I'm just so thrilled that Justin Heap is finally going to be getting back his duties that he is supposed to be in charge of. So the Arizona Supreme Court issued a ruling handing America First Legal, AFL, and its client, Maricopa County Recorder Justin Heap, a decisive victory in a year-long election integrity case against the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. The court's decision definitively established that the county recorder has final authority over administering a number of important election functions, and that the Board of Supervisors cannot stop him from doing so. So the court's decision also vacated a stay by the Arizona Court of Appeals and reinstated a lower court's orders in favor of the recorder, requiring the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors to stop stripping the recorder of his statutory election authority and to fund the resources his office needs to do the job. The court order is effective immediately. So that is fantastic for Justin Heap out in Arizona. I know it's been a long court battle because even when the courts say that it's supposed to be his duty, the supervisors just kept kicking back like little kids. No, we took your authority. We want your authority, and you can't have it back. Well, now the Supreme Court in Arizona has told them definitively, give it back. So, yay. I'm sure they're going to be whining and complaining about that too. Yeah, they always do. So now we're going to go on to Iowa. And this is from We Are Iowa on July 8th, 2026. Runnels City Council seat to be decided by drawing names out of a hat after the election tie. In Runnels, a city council seat will be decided by drawing a name from a hat after a rare tie between Cory Walker Zapita and write-in candidate Jake Dingman. Now, what if your city council election was decided by a draw from a hat? For the people of Runnels, this might be the case. The two vacancies on the Runnels City Council led to a special election with a surprising 28% voter turnout. We had one person running for a 4-year term. They received 37 votes. We had 43 write-in votes, and one candidate got 37 votes as well, said Polk County Auditor and Election Commissioner James Fitzgerald. Now, Polk County Auditor and Elections Commissioner Jamie Fitzgerald explained that although Corey Walker Zapita ran unopposed in one of the council seats, he tied with write-in candidate Jake Dingman, each receiving 37 votes. 6 additional write-in votes went to different individuals. So, under Iowa County Code 50.44, that means the winner will be decided by the Polk County Board of Supervisors, who pick a name out of a hat, giving both candidates a 50-50 shot. I just thought that was funny. You know, we've had some states where we have found out that they draw a card from a deck of cards to decide whenever there's a tie. So this one here, they're going to draw the name out of a hat. I just think that's wild that it was a write-in candidate, a whole 37 votes. I guess it's a very small county. Okay. So now we're going to go on to Louisiana. And this is from News 12 ABC from July 8th, 2026. Australian resident charged for illegally voting in Louisiana federal elections. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't happen. The Democrats tell us this doesn't happen. It's happening. And there's a lot more that's coming down the pike right now. So, a lawful resident of Australia was arrested for allegedly voting illegally in Louisiana elections. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of Louisiana said that Denise Natalie McGlory was charged last month for making false statements in order to be able to illegally vote in elections. She knowingly made false claims about being a U.S. citizen in October 2022 and in October 2024, according to the New York Post. McGlory, 51, who is not a U.S. citizen, allegedly cast ballots in elections and certified falsely that she was a U.S. citizen. Homeland Security investigations arrested her on July 1st. This alien from Australia now faces federal charges for falsely claiming to be a U.S. citizen and illegally casting ballots in 2 elections. Acting Assistant DHS Secretary of Public Affairs Lauren Biss said her arrest and charges are the result of the hard work of the men and women of ICE, law enforcement, and our federal partners. So there you go. I believe the number right now that are pending, I think there's another 90 that are in the pipeline for illegals. I mean, it takes a while for everything to be brought forward. So this is just the first of many others. These are just the real easy ones that they're going after. There's a lot more. All right, so now we're going to go on to Montana. Montana, this is from the Missoula Current from July 9th of 2026. And this was written by Jeff Mangan. So the Montana Plan I-194 is now being prepared for your ballot, placed there by over 50,000 Montanians and more than 600 all-volunteer signature gatherers who gave their time because they believe in something simple. Elections should belong to the people, not to the corporations hiding behind anonymous checkbooks. I'll note this was the first all-volunteer signature gathering effort in decades. That bothers some very powerful people, and they are doing everything they can to stop you. Don't be surprised. This has been going on for 100 years. Special interests and those who benefit from corrupt political spending don't give up quietly. The Montana Chamber and those who purport to represent have made that clear. Their opposition campaign is a textbook political playbook, misinformation, gaslighting, and the construction of straw men designed to protect the very actors our initiatives target. Here is what that playbook has looked like so far. They have done illegal obstruction. They sued the state to block the signature collection. The court rejected it. Signature withdrawal campaigns. They tried to convince Montanians who signed the petition that they didn't understand what they were signing. They did. Small business scare tactics. Their current messaging claims I-194 will silence small business owners. It will not. The small business lie. Let me be direct. The Montana plan does not target small business owners. It levels the playing field between your neighbor and number 39 hardware store and a multinational corporation with unlimited anonymous cash. Under I-194, business owners retain the full right to write personal checks in support of local candidates and issues. Businesses may continue to educate the public and advocate for their industry on relevant issues before and after any election. What changes is this: corporations will no longer be permitted to spend money to support or oppose candidates or ballot issues. That's it. That is the measure. It's simple, it's clear. Now, they also have a dark money distortion, and it goes into all of that. But I wanted to point out, they said thank you at the end of his commentary here. He said, for a moment, I want to set the opposition aside and speak directly to you. He says, thank you. You proved in 2026 that all volunteer signature gathering efforts is still possible. You proved that Montanians still have the grit and fierce independence and the civic determination to build something from the ground up without corporate dollars, without dark money, and without a political machine telling you what to do. So kudos to you out there in Montana to get the corporate funding out of the political process. That's all it's about. All right, so now we're going to go on to the state of New Jersey. New Jersey GOP, this is where this story is from, and you can find it out there and a lot of others. This is from July 9th, 2026. The New Jersey GOP and the RNC sue New Jersey Secretary of State for allowing non-residents to vote. Colts Neck, New Jersey. Today, the New Jersey Republican Party joined the Republican National Committee, the RNC, in a lawsuit to prevent certain non-residents who have never lived in New Jersey from registering to vote and voting in the state's elections. Below is the statement on the matter from Republican National Committee Chair Joe Gruters. Quote, Democrats are allowing certain people who have never lived in New Jersey to vote in state elections, said RNC Chair Joe Gruters. The RNC is taking them to the court to stop this unconstitutional scheme, protect lawful voters, and secure New Jersey elections. Now, the lawsuit challenges a New Jersey law that allows certain people who have never lived in New Jersey, and in some cases, who have never lived in the United States, to vote in state elections based solely on a relative's prior residency. So they're going after New Jersey as they should go after any state that allows people who are not residents to vote. So kudos to the New Jersey GOP and the RNC. So thank you. They're just trying to protect our votes out there. Ooh, that's a bad thing, right? Oh, wait a minute. I'm not a Democrat, so it's a good thing. Okay. Did I say that? I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, I can. Okay. So now we're going to go on to our election term of the week. And this is from the Baltimore Beat from July 13th, 2026. Branches of government. The United States has 3 branches of government established by the U.S. Constitution: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The executive branch refers to the office of the president, vice president, and presidential cabinet. The legislative involves the House of Representatives and the Senate, collectively known as the Congress. The judicial branch is the court system with the Supreme Court as the top court of the nation. So those are the three different branches of government. Well, now we're going to go on to our election trivia question. This one I found from Reader's Digest on July 13th, 2026. Who was the youngest U.S. president to be elected? Keyword, elected. We're going to go to a quick break and we'll be right back.
At Fight Voter Fraud, we work to ensure every legal vote is counted, and no unlawful vote ever diminishes the voice of we the people. We're fighting for you in courtrooms and communities nationwide to protect transparency, accountability, and fairness in every election. Our mission is simple: one vote for one legal voter. This is our country. This is our vote. Let's protect it together.
Hi, I'm Linda SYNC-O-WICZ from SYNC-O-WICZ, and I'm here to tell you about an exciting new series that we have just added called SYNC-O-WICZ Presents Candidate Spotlight. And this is open to any candidate, any party, anywhere in the country that wants to have a 20-minute interview. So you can talk about yourself, your platform, your campaign, and we'll help you get it out there. So give us a call, send us an email, or visit our website. Thank you. Hi, and welcome back to SYNC-O-WICZ. Again, I'm Linda SYNC-O-WICZ, the founder and CEO of Fight Voter Fraud. Now, when I left you last, we had our election trivia question of the week. And that question was and is, who was the youngest president to be elected? The answer is John F. Kennedy, who was 43 years old when he took office. Now, Teddy Roosevelt was 42, but he wasn't elected. Rather, the then vice president took the oath of office after McKinley's assassination. Well, we kind of gave you a tip, elected. So, all right, now we're going to go on to national news. And this is from Redline Headlines on July 11th, 2026. And I do want to credit Joan from Connecticut for passing this story along. After reviewing 155,000 Detroit absentee ballots, report claims 26,000 ballots were unlawfully counted in 2020. A new report says a volunteer elections record project has been reviewed with more than 155,000 Detroit absentee ballot envelopes from the 2020 election, and they found over 26,000 absentee ballots it claims were unlawfully counted. The records came through Yuda Miller, who reportedly won a FOIA lawsuit after Detroit and Wayne County first rejected his request for the 2020 election documents. By that time, he had met the reporter in Detroit in September of 2025. Miller had rented a U-Haul filled with nearly 1 million copied election records, including absentee ballot applications, envelopes, ballots, poll books, precinct tapes, and scanned files. Nothing says smooth election administration quite like needing a moving truck and a lawsuit to inspect the public records. Now, the report points to Michigan's absentee voting rules that were in place in 2020, including instructions that voters had to place ballots in a return envelope, seal it, sign it, and date it. The instructions quoted in the report says the voter's signature must appear, like that word must appear, on the return envelope or the ballot will not be counted. The envelope also could include a clerk's time and date stamp, a precinct number, and an absentee counting board number and a ballot number. The key claim is simple. If the envelope is missing, the signature and ballot number check are missing too. That means no normal verification and no clean chain of custody. Bureaucrats do love paperwork right up until the paperwork becomes the evidence. Okay, so the review is actually organized through Check My Vote with Fani Mastra. I always get Fani's last name wrong. Well, everybody out there, you know who I'm talking about. Fani, and he's going to be on our program in August. And he's credited for uploading and sorting the records so volunteers could enter envelope data into searchable fields. According to the report, more than 100 trained volunteers worked on that project, matching each envelope image to voter information from Detroit's November and December 20th qualified voter files. Now, I mean, that's a lot of absentee ballots that could make a difference there. Obviously, they made a difference there. 26,000, those are just part of how people fraudulently vote in the election. So congratulations to Fani and to the gentleman who actually got this rolling, Yehuda Miller. Again, thank you for that. It's been a long time in coming and getting all that information out there. So now we're going to go on to vote notes. And this story, I have to credit Joanne from Connecticut for passing this particular story along. This is from the Georgia Record on July 10th, 2026. And as always, our vote notes is a longer story, so you'll be able to click on the link and read the rest of it. So Trump fires remaining EAC commissioners in decisive mood for clean elections. Major election integrity news today as President Trump fired the 3 remaining commissioners at the Election Assistance Commission. The Supreme Court decision on Trump versus Slaughter case just got the ball rolling to clean up elections in the future. The Slaughter case is a U.S. Supreme Court decision that ruled 6-3 that the president has the authority to fire commissioners of independent agencies without cause. And President Trump didn't waste any time. On Thursday, he dismissed all the remaining commissioners of the Election Assistance Commission. Yay! For those that don't know, the Election Assistance Commission is an independent agency of the United States government. The commission serves as a national clearinghouse and resource of information regarding election administration. It's charged with administering payments to the states and developing guidance to meet HAVA requirements, which is the Help America Vote Act, adopting voluntary voting system guidelines, and accrediting voting systems test laboratories. This is the important one, certifying voting equipment. That's where a lot of the states lack the certification of the equipment. I mean, there's been a whole bunch of things that were so faulty that the EAC never bothered taking care of. So I am so happy that Trump got rid of those last 3 remaining ones. And they're also, by the way, charged with developing and maintaining a national mail voter registration form. By firing all the remaining commissioners at the EAC, President Trump has just opened the door to appoint new commissioners who at any point could invalidate all voting machines that are used nationwide. Yes, this is exactly what we need to have done. That will mean we'll have to go back to the old system with the same day voting and manual hand counting paper ballots. Do I hear woohoo? That's exactly what we need to do. So the story does go on. So go to fightvoterfraud.org. You can read the rest of our vote notes story there. So yay. So now we're going on to international news. This one is on Morocco. So the general elections are scheduled to be held in Morocco on September 23rd, 2026, to elect 395 members of their House of Representatives. So, a little bit of background. After the 2021 election, Aziz Haqqani's was nominated as prime minister by King Mohammed VI to form a new government. On the 22nd of September, it was announced that Akahancha's National Rally of Independence, the Istiqlal Party, and the Authenticity and Modernity Party wow, had reached a coalition agreement. The new government took office on October 7th. The Popular Movement Party, I like that. That's really easy to say. The Popular Movement Party, the Liberal Moroccan Party, well, that was an easy one too, and the National Democratic Party are making their moves by founding a new political alliance called the Popular Coalition. So, all 395 seats in the House of Representatives, 198 seats are needed for a majority. Wow. I'm looking at all the different parties that are in there, and none of them have a majority. So the RNI is Mohammed Chakaki. There's 102 seats. The PAM, Fatima Ezra Mansouri, they have 87. That Istiqlal with Nisar Baraka have 81. The USFP, Driss Lanchagar, has 34. I like this one. The initials are easy. MP. Mohammed Azin has 28. The PPS party, Nabil Benadouala, has 22. The UC, Mohammed Sajid, they've got 18. The PJD, Abdullah Benkareen, they have 13. The MDS, I can't even attempt to say that name. They have 5. The FFD, Mustafa Benali, they have 3. And another one that I can't do it. They've got 1. That's the FGD. And then the PSU, Hamil Esteri, has 1. Wow. They have so many different parties. They're all going in a number of different directions. So again, their election is going to be on September 23rd of this year. So now we're going on to my final thoughts, which, as you know, are unscripted. So many of you may have noticed I didn't have to pull out my tissue box today. Because every once in a while, I just don't want to read the left-leaning stories. They are out of their freaking minds. They can't tell the truth to save their life. They are fake news. They twist and turn absolutely everything. They do not care about America. They work against America. And I am so glad there is a massive investigation into the security threats that some of the media had in the past week with the potential assassination attempt of Trump and everything that had gone on there. We also have leakers out there that gave security information. I mean, there is so much stuff going on. And then we have Mandani. Oh, wow. This guy that everybody loves in New York. Yeah, right. Give everything for free. Was setting up a meeting to meet with the Iranians. When are we going to just boot him out of the country? He lied on his application to become a U.S. citizen. Send him back to Uganda. Just send him back there. I mean, get rid of him. I don't care what the optics look like. He's not a legitimate U.S. citizen. Marco Rubio has already said that if you do things against our country, even if you are a permanent resident, it's going to be revoked. We need to do that for a massive amount of people out there. And then, let's see, the Democrats, again, in Maine, what's his face? The Nazi guy. is finally stepped down. What kind of idiots do you have in Maine that would even put him on the ballot? Think about this. Are you kidding me? A communist, a potential rapist, and that's where you draw the line when you find out he potentially raped a Democrat. You didn't care that he had raped potentially a Republican. You guys didn't care about that. You guys just like, oh, we want him because, oh, he's so great. He's changed. No, he hasn't changed. And why is Maine trying to destroy the United States of America? Really? We know in New York, because of all the fraud that went on, that's how Mondami got in there. Yeah, you're starting to hear about it. Well, we knew about it when it was happening, but it's going to take a while for everything to finally come out and potentially go through the courts. But enough is enough. We have to also start prosecuting people for treason. If you don't like the United States, guess what? Get the hell out. Honestly, get out. I saw this interview the other day because I'm a Black woman and I'm a lesbian. I'm being oppressed. And the United States is just horrible. Really? Go to just about any other country in the world and you would not be breathing anymore. You are not being oppressed. Stop listening to the people with TDS. The Trump derangement syndrome, and I guess I'll be saying this every single week. Get help. You need help. If you have been listening to the left, you have been brainwashed. You are drinking the Kool-Aid. If you have CNN as your go-to media, you need help. They lie. How about if you go on X and sign up for things from the federal government? Because the federal government will put things out there plainly. Secretary of State Rubio, Secretary of State Hegseth, all of them, our treasurer, Besson, everything that is going on, you can learn about unfiltered. Yeah, you're going to have a whole bunch of videos you're going to see on Trump because he is absolutely everywhere. When does the man sleep? He doesn't. He is constantly out there. And it's been 2 years since they tried assassinating him. And we still don't have all the answers about what had gone on. We know that Secret Service dropped the ball like big time. There's a lot of people that have a lot of explaining to do. And we realize it takes a while with investigations. And the thing that's even harder for our Department of Justice is not everybody in the Department of Justice is working for the United States. There's a lot of people that are still in there with their own agendas that think they can stonewall things or not move things forward in the timely fashion that it needs to be moved forward in. So that's why Trump and his administration, his close people, are relentless. Every day there's something new coming out. And I'll tell you, I am looking forward to hearing what he is going to be talking about this coming Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have an idea, and I am so looking forward to that. So we've got to get a bunch of you that are out there. Stop whining and complaining. Where do you see issues? If you see a problem, you should be helping. If you want answers, talk to the different candidates. How about if you actually look at Republican candidates and their platforms? Instead of just sticking with the Democrats who, when they put their ads out there, like here in Connecticut, Governor Lamont, oh my God, we have Pinocchio. Every time I see our governor, it is Pinocchio. He has destroyed the state of Connecticut and is now saying, oh, wait a minute, we're going to fix this. We're no longer going to have the highest electricity rates in the country. Yeah, right. You are the one who caused it. The Democrats in Connecticut, who have a super majority, have zero common sense. There is no common sense whatever. They actually passed a law here in the state of Connecticut for planning and zoning that there'll no longer be the public being able to make any comments on anything in planning and zoning. And it's no longer going to be local decisions. The government up in Hartford will decide where they're going to put low-income housing. And if they decide that they want to take, you've got an extra lot next to your house, maybe they'll decide the eminent domain that they'll take it. We'll no longer have says on anything in the state of Connecticut. They are also making families that are homeschooling criminals. You're criminals. You have to be investigated by the department that looks after the children. Really? Really? Are you kidding me? And do you realize, people here in Connecticut, 40% of the budget goes for systems like in the welfare program to enhance people who have needs. 40%. And we are still the lowest in the country with everything. Don't you think there's a problem? I do. Our Attorney General Tong, little Mr. Wah Wah. He stamps his feet all the time because he wants his face out there, and he does all these lawsuits here. I think the last count was like 58 different lawsuits. You realize how much that costs the citizens of Connecticut? His new one is he doesn't want DEI taken out of any of the grants. Are you freaking kidding me? We got a bunch of idiots running the state of Connecticut and all their little minions. So I'll tell you what, we need a big wave this November of Republicans getting up off your tiny little butts and getting out and voting. You need to vote. You need to bring other people. I should qualify this, that are qualified as voters, that are 18 years old, that are a U.S. citizen, and are allowed by law to vote in the election. We got to make some changes here. And it's not just Connecticut. But yeah, we suck. I love my state. I'm not about to leave. I'm not about to abandon Connecticut. And I will do everything I can to make sure we have free and fair elections. But right now, we don't. Absolutely do not. And you know who's helping us? For you people out there with TDS, the Department of Justice and our president, Donald J. Trump. We want every vote to be counted, every legal vote to be counted. And the pushback is incredible right now. So the Department of Justice has let every single Secretary of State, and in 3 states, it's the Lieutenant Governor, Utah, Alaska, and Hawaii, because they do not have secretaries of states. So they sent the letter out letting them know that you had better not let any illegal vote in this federal election, or you will be criminally charged. I love it. Well, the lieutenant governor in Utah is whining because they thought it was just that letter was just sent to them. So Harmeet Dillon from the DOJ said, no, every state was sent the letter. They are on notice. Our voter rolls across the country are horrific, are absolutely horrific. And, we just read the story today, New Jersey letting people that are outside of the country, just, hey, let's vote in New Jersey. And I got to tell you, they're going to find a lot of them in North Carolina as well, because that's one of the states that we know they were sending tons of them in from out of country to vote. California, oh my God, California is, they need more than help in California. California is just so far gone. We should just throw out every single politician that is in office in California and start from scratch. Unbelievable, all the stuff that's going on. So anybody who wants something to be proud of here in the United States, we are 250 years old. 250 years. This great experiment that's going on, with many countries mirroring our Constitution and what we had in our Declaration of Independence. And here we are ranked in the low 70s or high 70s as far as election security. We're terrible. We are awful. And here are the people that are trying to make sure that your vote counts are getting pushback everywhere. Like I said, the League of Women Voters, oh my God, you read anything about them, do the opposite of what they say. The ACLU, PBS, NPR. I mean, all these left leaning organizations or left leaning media, they lie. They lie all the time. Granted, the other, conservative movement, we're not perfect, but I believe we more or less tell the truth. We don't skew things. We don't skew the headlines. Sometimes we pat ourselves on the back a little too often. I've seen that. I've read stories that were just a little bit over the top. But as far as the left, wake up. Again, you don't like our country? Then get the hell out. Honestly, America, you cannot have dual citizenship in America and say you're for America. You need to pledge your allegiance to one country. That is the only way this works. And we should not have any congresspeople in Washington or any senators that have dual citizenship, let alone those that marry their brother to get in and a whole bunch of others, and the ones that are, committing all the fraud that's out there. Do you realize that we have become so numb to hearing, oh, $2 billion worth of fraud was found here, $10 billion. Do you realize how much money that is? That's with a B. It is incredible. If you took out all the fraud in the United States, we would never, ever have to pay any more federal income taxes. You would never have to pay any more property taxes because of all the fraud. And we are not the nuts. I may be a little crazy once in a while, but we're not the nuts. We back up what we are trying to do. We give you the receipts and show you what's been going on with the fraud. Yet there are so many on the left that, oh, there's no fraud. It's only, a few people have been convicted. You know why only a few people have been convicted? Because the Democrat judges would never convict anyone with any fraud. The state election enforcement here in Connecticut doesn't want to know anything about any of that. Really. Our Supreme Court in Connecticut, I haven't attacked them recently, but they're a joke, an absolute joke. And I have 2 cases that I had in front of them to prove it. So anyway, I may have gone a little off subject today, but I doubt it. I guess my whole thing today is letting people know when you see someone with TDS, tell them to get help. Be nice, be polite. It is a medical affliction. There is help out there. And I got to tell you, Attorney John Bolton, who's running for the Attorney General in Connecticut, has said, help is on the way. And it is coming this November. Well, once again, I'm Linda SYNC-O-WICZ. I want to thank you so much for listening to me here on SYNC-O-WICZ and for watching us on OBBM Network TV, Rumble, Spotify, all the other social platforms that we're on, YouTube. So please like and share. And just so you know, you can get on our email list. Send us an email. You can send it to info@fightvoterfraud.org. We'll put you on our email list because you may have missed yesterday a press release we sent out concerning Tim Barton from Dallas, Texas, and his lawfare case. It's unbelievable what has happened to him. People need to be aware of what has been going on. So once again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.